Good morning. So it's day 2 of Computer Science Education Week, and we are going to pick up where we left off yesterday. I'm finishing our Scratch story. So one of the things that I like to use Scratch for is to tell a story by adding scenes and backgrounds and characters. And what we're picking up is talking about the James Webb Telescope launch that's happening, I think, in a couple weeks now, actually. Let's go to the countdown page. Yes, December 22nd, which is 14 days, so a couple weeks. And it's going to be a really interesting, I'm just really super excited for it. Okay, so back to Scratch. Now, the way we pick up where we left off is once you get signed in, you go to My Stuff. And you can see all your projects. You can see I've shared 9 and shared 21. And let's go ahead and click on this James Webb Telescope because that's the one where we picked up, where we left off yesterday. And just as a recap, when we click on the green flag, the dog says, "Hi, have you heard about the James Webb Telescope?" And Kieran says, "No, I haven't. What is the James Webb Telescope?" And the dog says it's a new telescope that NASA is launching. It may happen as soon as December 2021. And then we grab this image of the telescope and it's moving. And that's where we left off. So what we're going to do is to continue to add to our story. So to edit it, what we're going to do is click See Inside. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Okay. So remember our sprites. We have Earth, Dot, the dog, Kieran, the space dude, and then we have the Webb telescope. So what we're going to do now, we want our Webb telescope, actually what we want is our Dot the dog to say something. And actually, well, we want Kieran to say something, sorry. We want Kieran to say something. And what we're going to do, we're going to have Kieran say, I'm just going to go ahead and grab that purple piece down here. How far is it traveling? And we're just going to go ahead and make that, after what we learned yesterday, part of developing anything, a website or an application is the user experience. So we want to make sure that our user has enough time to, read what it's saying. So 5 seconds seems to be good. But we need to have some sort of event to trigger Kieran to say something. So what we're going to do, when the telescope, let's go ahead and hit stop. Hit the green flag. Okay, now hit stop. Okay. So when the telescope is moving, that's when we want Kieran to say something. Let's just kind of go over our scene again to make sure that I'm telling you right. So we have Dot the dog says, "Hi, have you heard about the James Webb Telescope?" And then we have Kieran says, "No, I haven't. What is the James Webb Telescope?" And then we have Dot saying, "It's a new telescope that NASA is launching. It may happen as soon as December 2021. And as we saw, okay. And then now the telescope is launching. So while that telescope is launching, I want Kieran to say, how far is it going? So what the Webb telescope is going to do when, let's see, boom, 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 boom. We're going to have it broadcast a message for Kieran. So we're going to go to events and what we're going to do is, I'm trying to think, when I receive this, which is the same message I run right here because that's going to trigger the launch, which is that. I will wait. We want to wait. Okay, so let's do a wait. Where's the wait? Maybe it's the motion. Sensing. There's a wait in here somewhere. Control. Wait. Okay. We want it to wait. A second, just 1 second's fine. And then we want it to broadcast the message. We want it to be a new message. Webb telescopes moving. So this is just whenever it's starting to move. And so when Karen receives the message of Webb telescope moving, it's going to say how far is it traveling. So let's go ahead and go back to the beginning. Okay. Say, hi, have you heard about the James Webb Telescope? No, I haven't. What is the James Webb Telescope? It's a new telescope that NASA is launching. It may happen as soon as December 2021. And then we'll see the telescope, and it waits for a second. As you can note, as you probably saw, that it was there's a slight delay of 1 second. And then we see Karen asking the question, how far is it traveling? So we want the telescope to respond. And, I know the telescope responding is kind of silly, but, it's fun to be silly. It's fun to tell a story. So let's see if we can explore this. It's 1 million miles, I believe. Let's just double check. So here's some awesome information about the Webb Telescope fact sheet. And this is free for you guys to check out and learn. So you can see all the parts that are making up this very, very cool contraption of the telescope. And you can see that the primary mirror size is over 21 feet across. The shape is a hexagon deployable segments, which is this whatchamacallit right there. Let's see, wavelength, travel distance, 1 million miles from Earth. So what we're going to do, we're going to have our Webb telescope. Actually, what we're going to have Karen do, how far is this traveling? Then it's going to broadcast a message. And the new message is going to be, how far is it traveling? And then when the telescope receives that message of how far is it traveling, it's going to say, I'm traveling traveling 1 million miles, I can't spell today, miles away from Earth. And like I said earlier, user experience, we want to give the user long enough time to read it. So 5 seconds seems to be working out pretty well. And I'm actually going to add another little event here as well. So instead of waiting until I hit the green flag to get the telescope back behind the Earth, what I'm going to do is give it another kind of event to look for. Because right now, it doesn't go back behind the Earth and is hidden. When I say behind the Earth, it's actually just hidden, and go back to the same location of the Earth until I click on the green flag and it starts the whole scenario again. And so what we're going to do, we're going to just give it another kind of event that it can listen to get there. So we're going to select when the space key is pressed. We're going to go back to looks. We're going to click hide. And the motion is, it's going to go to, we're going to just copy this 165 and minus 126. So whether I'm hitting the green flag or hitting the space key, it's going to do the exact same thing. So hit the space key, it's hidden again, and it's hidden so you can't see it, but it's behind this Earth, or it's the same location as the Earth. So what we did, aside from adding that space key action, whenever it receives a message from Karen of how far is it traveling, it's going to say I'm traveling 1 million miles away from Earth. So hit the green flag, dot the dog. Hi, have you heard about the James Webb Telescope? No, I haven't. What is the James Webb Telescope? It's a new telescope that NASA is launching. It may happen as soon as December 2021. So we see our telescope, and then it just at a 1 second delay, Karen asks, how far is it traveling? I'm traveling 1 million miles away from Earth. And I just noticed a typo. So let's go to Karen. And because I have a typo there, how far is it traveling? There we go. Fix that typo. Okay. And then what we're going to do, we're going to have the Webb telescope after it says I'm traveling 1 million miles away from Earth. And it says it for 5 seconds, so it gives your user enough time to read it. And what we're going to have, what we're going to do now is we're going to broadcast another message. So that dot is going to say something. And we're going to broadcast new message. 1 million miles away. So we're going back to Dot the dog. And whenever I receive the message of 1 million miles away, and Dot to the dog is going to say, that is so cool. Where can we learn more about where can we learn more about the telescope? And again, just 5 seconds. And what we're going to do is broadcast a message. New message. Where to go to learn more. And what we're going to do now is we are going to say, I'm trying to think what I want to do. We're going to add another sprite. Let's choose another sprite. Let's do space again. And we're going to add the star. So now we added another sprite. You can see the star sprite is up here. There's no code because we haven't done anything with it. And we're going to move the star here. Okay. So now we're going to have the star start being part of the conversation. And what we're going to do now is, so what was my message? What was my last message? It was that. Oh, okay, where to go to learn more. All right. So what we're going to have, the star, when I receive where to go to learn more, it's going to say, so let's just go to the basic website and get out of that. Let's just go to the home page. Make sure this right here works without the rest. Yeah, it'll work. Okay. So what we can do, we're just going to copy that JWST for the James Webb Space Telescope .nasa.gov. Copy that. And we're going to have the star say, the website is at, I'm just going to copy that in there. Take out that /. They have, let's just kind of leave it at that. It's going to say that for 5 seconds. And what we're going to do now, we are going to add a screenshot. We're going to change the background. And let's go ahead and I'm going to do the snipping tool. And we're going to select save the snip. And I'm just going to go to my picture. So just name this Webb Telescope snippet. Okay. And what we're going to do now, we are going to actually go back to our background and we're going to select upload backdrop. And we're going to go to our pictures and find that. Okay. And you can see we added a new backdrop and we're going to go back to our code. And it's changed the backdrop, but I don't want it to be changed yet. So what we're going to do is, so you can see the backdrop is still right there. So let's go back to the star for a second. So the website is at, okay. And what we're going to do now is that we are going to broadcast. Website is at jwst.nasa.gov. And click on the backdrop. And when I receive that, the website is at date, whenever that is spoken by the star, it's going to switch backdrop to that. But remember, I don't want this to be the beginning. So what I'm actually going to do is, let's go back to backdrops. Select that. Go back to my code. So the backdrop is now back to the galaxy. And, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. My bad. Hold on. Get back that over there. Okay. Okay, this code applies to this backdrop. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is, I'm just going to go ahead and click on Earth because that was one of the beginning elements that we have pretty much consistent throughout this whole experience. And what I'm going to do now is do the events, space card. Just so remember, whenever I hit the space bar, that telescope is going to be hidden and it kind of starts back at the same place as Earth. So that's just like an event, an indicator, an event listener. That is just a way that I chose to kind of reset the scene. So when the space key is pressed, I'm going to change the looks to switch backdrop to galaxy. Okay. So space key is pressed, it goes back to the galaxy and you no longer see the telescope. So let's go ahead and click on green flag. And so we have Dot asking about if you heard about the James Webb Telescope. Kieran says no, he hasn't. And Dot says it's a new telescope that NASA is launching. It may happen as soon as December 2021. And you can see the telescope. And then Kieran asking how far is it traveling? And the telescope is moving. It says I'm traveling 1 million miles away from Earth. And then the star, Dot said, that is so cool. Where can we learn more about the telescope? And the star says the website is at jwst.nasa.gov. And there is a bit of delay, but, there's a bit of delay. Let's see if we can do anything about that. And the reason for that delay is because it's 5 seconds and then it's going to change the backdrop. So what we may want to do is instead of this being like one thing happens and then the next thing happens, what we're going to do, we're going to have when I receive, we want the same message to what kind of starts in action. We want the same event, which is basically when I receive a certain message. Where do I go to learn more? Okay. But I don't want it to be immediate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to under this. Yes, wait. Just wanted to wait a second. I don't want it to wait 5 seconds, but I don't want it to be immediate. So go ahead, space, and everything defaults to the galaxy, and the telescope is behind or is hidden. And now let's go ahead and hit the green flag again. Have you heard about the James Webb Telescope? And we have Karen saying, no, he hasn't. What is the James Webb Telescope? And we have Dot saying that it's a new telescope that NASA is launching. It may happen as soon as December 2021. And then we see the telescope, and then Karen asking, how far is it traveling? And the telescope is going to respond, says, I'm traveling 1 million miles away from Earth. And then Dot says that is so cool. Where can we learn more about the telescope? And the star says the website is at jwst.nasa.gov. And it clicks to the new screen of the Webb Space Telescope. But let's make that 2 seconds. I just didn't like the feel of it at 1 second. And let's see. And we're not going to do a preview again yet. Let's do one more thing here. And let's see, I'm trying to think. Let's do the countdown. Okay. Let's go to the launch page. And there was something else in here. Can't remember what it was. Oh, there it is. I thought this was kind of a cool picture. For the telescope to fit into the rocket, it must fold up. So this shows how the rocket is folding up. And then this is a video showcasing how it's going to unfold. Now, unfortunately, Scratch doesn't really allow us to put hyperlinks in there. So what we are going to do is we're going to kind of go outside the scope of what Scratch is, and that's fine. I'm going to use some other tools that I like to use whenever I'm trying to share information, and it's called a QR code. So that's the page that I want. The website that I like to use to make QR codes is called QR Code Monkey. And so I'm just selecting this URL right here. It's talking about the launch. And I'm just copying that. And with QR Code Monkey, I can paste my URL into that. And then I can customize anything. I'm not going to really worry about customizing it right now, but I'm going to select create a QR code. And it's hard for me to show right now with the screen recording, but basically if you're watching this and you have your phone on you, you should be able to just open up your camera and scan that QR code, and it'll take you straight to that web page. So what I'm going to do now is download, and it takes it a couple minutes. I'm going to pause this while that's doing that. Okay, so now it's QR code 6. I'm not going to worry about renaming it, but what we're going to do now, let's go back to Scratch. And we are going to actually upload this as a new sprite. So choose a sprite, upload sprite. And it was in my downloads. There it is. Okay. Now I don't want it to be seen right now, so I'm going to make it hidden. Okay. Now what we're going to do is the final scene is we are going to, what was our last thing? It was this, that the background changed. So when that happens, what we're going to do is broadcast new message, background change. And could have probably done that another way, but I'm just going to keep it as that. Okay. So when the background changes, we are going to do some things to dot. We are going to make dot disappear is what we're going to do. We're going to say goodbye to dot. So when the backdrop, yeah, there's another way of doing that, but let's just go ahead and do it this way. Bum, 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 bum. No, let me do it this way. Sorry. So there's multiple ways that you can do things whenever you're developing any kind of project. Sometimes it's just like whichever is the easiest, whichever is the simplest, and there's all kinds of variables. I'm going to kind of keep doing the way I've been doing it though. Background changed, and we are going to wait a little bit, just a tad. We're going to wait, and we're going to wait, let's say 2 seconds. And then we're going to make dot hide. So we won't see dot anymore. And I think I can copy, no, I was thinking that I could copy code, but maybe not. All right, let's just keep going on. Karen, same thing. Events, when I receive, background changed. And we're going to we're going to wait. Control, wait 2 seconds. And looks, we're going to hide. Okay. And the same thing with a Webb telescope. Events. When I receive, background changed. And we are going to control, wait 2 seconds. And we're going to hide it. And we're going to hide the star too. So control, hold on, I got a call. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had a phone call. So what we're doing now was the star. And want to wait 2 seconds. Okay, so what we were doing, make sure I kind of pick up. Yes. When background change, and there is, like I said earlier, we could have probably just done this one right here without having to create new code, but that's fine. We'll just keep doing the way we've been doing it. And we're going to wait 2 seconds. And then we are going to hide it. Okay. And so everything should be hidden. And what we're going to do now is we are going to do the opposite of this one. When I receive the message, background change, we are going to actually, how many seconds was I waiting again? 2 seconds. So we're going to, control. Wait 2 seconds. And then we are going to show it. Oopsie, wrong way. There we go. Oopsie. There we go. Hit the space to change the background and get that telescope hidden again. And now let's see how we got it. Hi, have you heard about the James Webb Telescope? Says Dot. And Karen says, no, I haven't. What is the James Webb Telescope? And then it talks about, Dot says it's a new telescope that NASA is launching. It may happen as soon as December 2021. You can see the telescope starting to launch. And then Karen is asking, how far is it traveling? And the telescope responds, I'm traveling 1 million miles away from Earth. And this Dot says, that is so cool. Where can we learn more about the telescope? And Mr. Starr says, go to JWSTA, NASA.gov, and It halfway worked. Looks like I need to change some other stuff. Okay. First of all, let's change the size. It's just a tad bit too big. So first we're going to hit stop. And I'm going to change the size to, let's do 80. Okay. Shrunk down a little bit. And what we want to do is we got to change this backdrop. The background changed. It's going to broadcast the background change. And then I think we should be able to do, where is it? Wait. Let's do wait 2 seconds. And then we are going to, where'd it go? Oh. I'm not sure if that's what I want to do or not. We'll see. And we need to hide the earth too. So events, when I receive, background change, control, wait 2 seconds, looks, hide. And I'm going to move the location of this right there. Shouldn't have to change anything on the code just because that should be right where it goes. So hit the space bar, get everything back. Oopsie, need that to be hidden when I hit space. So go to events, space, hide. There we go. Hit the green flag. Hit the green flag. Okay, what happened? Oh, so I got everything hidden and I haven't given any kind of event to talk. So you can see things are happening because I haven't. Yeah, I need to fix that. Okay, so dot. So what we want when the space bar is pressed, we want dot to be visible. Just like it was in the beginning. Karen, same thing. When space key is pressed. So our space, when I was hitting the space bar, the space key is kind of like a default reset. And that's not going to show. We want the star to show. Okay, let's see. There we go. We got our characters back. So, okay, hi. Have you heard about the James Webb Telescope? And Karen says, no, I haven't. What is the James Webb Telescope? And then Dot says, it's a new telescope that NASA is launching. It may happen as soon as December 2021. And we see the telescope launching. And Karen asking, how far is it traveling? And the telescope is going to launch. I'm traveling 1 million miles away from Earth. And Dot says, that is so cool. Where can I learn more about the telescope? And Mr. Sar says the website is jwst.nasa.gov. And my background's still not changing. Let's see. That's not what I want then. What we may do is, let's do this here. Let's backdrop one. Let's go back at the backdrops. Backdrop one is blank. Okay, that's what we want to do. Let's keep that back to 2 seconds. Space key. Oh, I lost my earth. Okay, space key. Space looks show. Oopsie. Okay, there we go. Now hit the green flag. We have Dot talking. And then we have Karen asking about the James Webb Telescope. And then we have Dot talking about how it's going to be launching this month. And then we are going to see our telescope. And Karen asking about how far it's traveling. And the telescope is going to respond saying, I'm traveling 1,000,000 miles away from Earth. And this Dot is going to ask, that is so cool, or he's going to say, what, that is so cool. Where can we learn more about the telescope? The star is telling us the website to go to, and then we see a preview of what the website, and then we go to this. And that was a little short on the, let's see, I want this one. Actually, that's good. We're going to go ahead and call it, and then to share it, it's already shared. Let's see. We're going to go back to see our project page. Oopsie. See inside. Let's hit the space key. Okay, let's get back to the beginning. There we go. To begin and learn more about the James Webb Space Telescope launching in December 2021. And hit, I think it just saves automatically. And we can copy the link. Copy. And we can share it with whoever we want. So this completes our little story that we were building with Scratch. Feel free to keep exploring and creating. And kind of as a recap, we learned about, let's go back and see inside. We learned how to change the backdrops. We learned how to change the sprites. And we also learned how to upload our own sprites. And we had some event listeners that will impact the way it would wait to respond and our user experience, make sure that our user have enough time to read what it's saying. And we even start to explore QR codes and how they can be used to share messages and such. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions on Scratch or the James Webb Telescope launch, please feel free to reach out and explore the different things that you can do with this project. It's a lot of fun. It's tell a story using Scratch. There's a whole lot of things that you can do. You can make games, and there's some awesome tutorials right there. So check it out, explore, be curious, because that's where you explore some awesome stuff. Thank you for joining me.